Good evening to all. Welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. Laguna Madre Water District notice of a regular meeting Board of Directors. Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the district to be held at 105 Port Road, Port Isabel, Texas, on the 22nd day of January 2014 at the hour of 6 p.m. for consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice is posted at the office of the district on January 16, 2014 at 10:30 a.m. in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551-041-551-050, and a copy furnished to the county clerk at Cameron County, Texas. Item 1, we do have the presence of a quorum. All the board members are present. Item 2, if we can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, invitation to the audience for discussion. Staff, board,
Yes,
comments?
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to bring the attention of the board, and we didn't put it in the agenda because it was kind of late. There was a news report from Laguna Madre that came out last week. I believe it was like Wednesday night of last week, and it comes back on the deposit returns, and I just wanted to let the board know the exact story behind it. If Mini and Victor, that I believe that one of our customers had complained that she didn't want to get the deposit back, and that wasn't so. It was mentioned there that the district didn't want to give the deposit back, but that's not the case, you know. But again, they can say whatever they want. But what actually happened was that the gentleman came by and he requested the refund right away, like right there today, you know. And that's not the case. We have to go through procedures, and you know, and he'll get the refund, but it's not that, like today. You know, it will be like a couple of days by the time they get the paperwork done. And one thing that they requested was the refund back to them instead of what the policy. Well, the policy reads either to their credit, back to their credit, or if they wanted the deposit back to them, they have to bring it in writing. And they didn't understand. They didn't want to understand that they had to bring in writing, you know, so they can get the refund back to them. And they wanted the refund right away, you know, with that. And then they just mentioned to staff that they were going to call Channel 5 News, and that's what happened, you know.
And they did.
Yeah, and they did.
Do we have all the policies posted online?
No.
I think we need all of the policies posted online. I don't know, but before we get into this, I think that's most important so that everyone can identify what those policies are. They're open, they can see, and they know, you know, from A to Z what all the district policies are regarding that stuff, updating, you know, anyone can see what it is. That's the number one thing. I haven't reviewed our website in a while. I'm sorry for that. I will go back and review it tonight, but I think that's most important to get out there so that someone like Channel 5 or someone contacts us, we can say all of our policies and procedures are online. You're welcome to view them, the dates they were adopted, all of that information is current, and that puts that issue away so that they can. And then I didn't mean to interrupt, Minnie, but that's very important to get that updated.
No, but again, when they come open and pay for a new tap, they get all that paperwork with them. You know, they get copies of all that.
So they know the policy.
Yeah, they do. And, I mean, and they should have just reasoned.
Question: how many times has this happened in the last 5 years?
It hasn't happened before.
First
no.
time.
But
I'd suggest we do nothing.
Well, this 4 and 5 are creating a sensationalized news where,
That's fine.
I mean, a mosquito bites you at HEB and they're on the news.
I don't think we ought to go in and spend a bunch of money getting stuff online and everything.
No, that's easy to get it online.
That they
That's
can
not
pick
expense.
apart. I think we should ignore it.
It should be online.
Yeah, it should be on.
I think all the
You
policies
said
and
it very
procedures
bad.
should be online.
I'd like to make a recommendation also. I mean, it's something.
This is discussion only, but.
I know, it's discussion only, but maybe the staff can look at policy as far as, with regards when we do get approached by the media, And I didn't see the broadcast, I don't know what was said, I don't know who was
They
on
make
it.
it look like we were crooks.
I'm just saying that in the future, I think we ought to only have some designated personnel that are allowed to talk. There should be something in our personnel policy that only certain people can talk to the media.
Media relations title.
Yeah, you know, offhand, I'm looking at Carlos
Yeah,
and
as
Robert.
directors, us as directors, we can do that.
Was Victor
Victor,
I heard Victor was on
Right.
TV, no?
right. The
Okay.
reason being that I was,
But this was an issue with a different department. He is director of operations, so really he should have been the one talking about it. So I think maybe we need to have something in our personnel policy based on
Media relations.
media relations, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't y'all think?
Yeah.
That's a very good idea to bring up.
One thing
again-
I like to state is,
We should only have one or two spokespersons for the district.
when we do have a policy online, I like to say that we follow procedures. I mean, if the policy says he doesn't get a check or his money back until he signs, that's it. Once you do it to somebody, all the rest of them are coming. So if the policy says he doesn't get a check unless he signs,
It's an easy, inexpensive thing to add, and
That's
it
it.
will educate our public and customers and everyone about that.
they'll
That's,
Maybe
think
that's something
twice,
you
when
can
they
look
see
at
the
adding.
policies, they'll think twice. of
Having
coming and doing that
spokespersons
to
for the
press.
district only those people are allowed to talk, you know.
well, I believe
The
that,
policy does
that,
say that it goes back to their account. We've given them the option that if they do want their refund, then we're asking them to give it to us in writing so that we can have that documentation to support.
Simple as
Makes
that.
sense, makes sense.
and again, there's I know that, all of us three, except Mr. Gomez, have done reports, answer questions to the media. The reason that Victor did it for me, because I was in training, and I said, okay, just be careful with what you say and, follow policy, and, find out exactly what happened, and he already knew about
Yeah,
the
and
situation.
the media can catch you very easy off guard.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
That's what I'm saying, I think we ought to have something in the policy that only
Designated.
certain
Yeah.
people are only allowed to speak, and that way you won't get, nobody will get caught off guard. It's for
Right.
all
Don't let
protection
Victor
for our,
talk.
for everybody's
Let
protection.
him try.
because obviously if it's come up now, it's gonna start to come up more often, because once one starts, then they all start. And the news has gotten to be ridiculous with this.
Right.
That's my opinion.
You're right.
Gentlemen, I think we're over whatever on this whole subject.
No, but there's nothing wrong, and it's a good idea to have policy online for anyone that's curious or wants to.
Well, then let's say the only one
We'll
can
make sure we
speak to the
put
public
it in
is
there.
Carlos.
We'll make sure.
Simple as that. He's a general manager.
Or the
He's
chair,
a
or the
spokesman.
chairman.
We don't even have to put that down as a motion. It's just.
No, it's,
that's the way it
it's
is.
our job, our duties are, well, at least mine,
Anybody
if I'm here,
calls
I'll take
anybody
care of
in
it
the place,
myself.
refer them to the
But,
general manager.
Yeah, and then this was a request
Simple.
from Mr. Vela, he called me, just to
Yeah.
let the board know what happened. And I agreed with him, I said, yes, I'll and that's why it's on,
Nothing.
the invitation to the audience, because there was nothing in the agenda.
Yeah, how many checks do we approve during disbursements for refund checks? I mean, it's like
20 a week,
yeah,
20 a
whenever we
A
pay the
month.
bills.
Read your financial
We always sign for refunds or accounts that have been funded, most of the time. You're gonna find a few, because we have done more than one, okay, with this, but there has been several that have requested it in the form of a check.
Right, but they comply with the
Yes, we do
requirements.
comply.
With the request.
And it hasn't been given to anybody sooner than it's supposed to. His was coming up and on the 28th, which would have been on the billing that went out on Friday. But his whole thing was, I gave it to you right there and then, when you asked for when he came in for a new tab. I want it the same way. I said, but I have to follow procedures, I can't.
And he was desperate for money, he needed money,
Yeah,
was his
that's
big issue, I'm sure, and he was having a financial situation.
Sounds like you had a personal problem.
And took it out on the district, and, I mean, you can read between the lines on it.
And
Sorry,
we just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention, so
Yeah,
y'all can be
that's-
aware of what happened.
Find out.
Thank you, Minnie, for
And
update and
then the second
hard
thing,
work.
okay, thank you, Minnie and Victor. The second thing I wanted to bring up on this item here is, y'all received email from Daisy for the, what is it? AWA conference in Las Vegas. You can see all the paperwork in there. There's 4 tracks. 4 tracks means there's 4 sessions going on. At 9 o'clock, there's one session, one track, second track, all at 9:30. And the different tracks, track 1, every day, they're going to be talking about membrane filtration applications. Then the second track will be on brackish water and seawater. Then the third track is wastewater and industrial, which is water reuse. And then track 4 is regional issues and new innovations, research and miscellaneous stuff on membranes. So just keep that in mind, that there's 4 tracks going on at the same time.
That's in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you have any questions on any of the tracks, let me know.
Well, I
And,
just
I
like a
can-
printout.
And again, the other thing that we're wanting to know, Daisy wants to know, is that y'all let her know when you want to depart and when you all want to arrive back, so she can set up your schedule according to what you need. Because I know.
Just get us the best deal you can.
Oh, we are. We try to.
You know,
The only
when
thing
we're-
I think, Mr. Garcia, you canceled?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
won't be able
okay.
to go, so there's somebody else on my plate.
Why not?
It's your spring break and I got some stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, just make sure, any questions, call us or call Daisy or email her. What else on that part, Daisy? Anything else? That's it? Okay. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. I don't know if I mentioned, that
We're still on
Mr.
public
Luis
forum.
Barberena is gonna
No,
retire
public.
January the 27th.
The 27th?
This month, yes.
5 more days, huh?
Yes, 6.
How many years?
39 now, or 40?
He's at 40, about 40, about 40. I
Wow,
think it's 40.
that's, I mean, that's huge, but
Yeah.
that's quite the accomplishment. He didn't want to do it before I guess the 40 kicks in January probably.
I think so. He wanted that day, so that's what it is.
I saw him over the weekend, he said he's gonna be working more than he's retired.
Yep.
Personal
So-
or something? or-
Yeah, he's gonna be doing a lot of work, remodeling and
He's a
his daughter's
carpenter.
house or
He
something.
likes to do carpentry
Yeah.
work, and he got projects coming up, I guess.
Yeah, his family's gonna keep him busy.
Yeah.
Good. Where the district's changing.
So, congratulations on Luis Barberena's retirement.
What do they say, out with the old, in with the new?
40 years.
Him with you.
Yeah, so we'll probably end up
I came up
taking him,
with you, I
what
didn't
do
know
we
nobody,
decide on?
just
Taking
one
him
guy.
out for dinner or making something for him? Yeah, we're gonna make him a dinner here, or luncheon.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Luncheon.
luncheon here. So everybody can, be together and celebrate his retirement. So,
Anything else under item 3, invitation for discussion? Any other comments? Moving to item 4, consider and approve minutes for the regular meeting of January 8th, 2014. Has everyone had a chance to review, and are there any comments or questions?
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Thomas,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Vella. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving to item number 5, consider and approve travel for administration department to attend AWWA Membrane Technology Conference in Nevada.
yes, on this one, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it's, for administration for Charles, myself, and, Mario Vela. The board, needs to approve any travel outside the state according to our policy. So we just need the board's approval on that one. They can go to the Las Vegas in March the 10th through the 6th, 17th?
In March or February?
March.
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 10th through the 14th.
10th through the 14th, yeah.
And who are these for?
Move to approve.
Yes.
Second.
I'm sorry, motion was made by
Question,
Mr.
is there a
Garcia.
question on the table? Thank
Okay.
you. And who are these for?
There's 3. There's the Mario Vela, Charles Ortiz, and myself.
Motion made by Mr. Garcia.
Is there gonna be an issue
Fair enough.
with Rudy, because Rudy's canceled? I mean, is there an extra thing there that, a registration that's already been paid, or?
I believe the motel and the conference, yes.
You can't call over there and switch over to somebody else?
I can try, I'll call.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get somebody else from the staff to go?
When is that one?
That's the same one, March the
That's
10th
the
through
March,
the
yeah.
14th.
Las
March
Vegas,
the 10th.
Like a throw in.
No, I know a lot, I mean, I worked in the water plant,
Okay.
and I had but.
Well, but there's all the new technology coming up, I'm sure you can
Yeah,
pick up a
but
few
you know, new
things.
technology ain't going in here anymore. Anyway, you know, I would rather have somebody that's working here go, you know.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we just, yeah,
somebody
we're up
that's
to
going
for approval tonight.
have use for it.
Well, so the district's not adding any money, maybe y'all can come up with someone else?
We can.
Yeah.
And you'll have to put it on the
Then we
agenda for
take
approval.
Daisy, she can coordinate the stuff that
Yes,
we don't
Daisy
know
the
what the hell
coordinator,
we're
right?
doing.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Whatever y'all decided, we'll take care of that.
Well, I mean, we're approving, you know, these three gentlemen plus whomever else is gonna replace me, right?
Right.
If it's a staff member.
Yeah.
So is that in your motions,
Yeah.
whoever they
Well, I'd
decide?
say, yeah, if Daisy wants to go out and kinda
She's
keep
gonna have
track
to
of things,
arrange all
she's
the-
keeping track of
the,
things here.
Well, she can go to some of these seminars too. and learn a
Anybody
little
got
bit.
anybody else they'd like to throw into the bat, or into the mix, or into the mess?
We bid somebody that's gonna be involved with membranes and filtration and things like that, you know.
We're also gonna need somebody to
Make the
kinda keep
recommendation
track of
for
us.
the three
Oh,
plus
come
one
on, you're
additional
big enough to
staff,
keep
and it's
track of
open
yourself.
at that point, it's open.
What?
Yeah, I think you
What?
can do that.
You're old enough to keep track of yourself.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Three
Yeah,
plus,
that's fine.
and leave the other one open, wherever they decide.
Okay.
Motion made by Mr. Garcia, and there was a second by Mr. Vella. Are all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
Moving
you.
to item 6, consider and approve wet compliance plan for Port Isabel wastewater treatment plan. Charles?
Discussed, involving our new TPDS permit that just got renewed September 24th of this year for the Port Isabel wastewater treatment plant. And there are two items.
So instead of initials, can you tell me what TPDS means?
Texas Pollutant Discharge Elimination.
There you go, all right.
So that's, you know, basically how all four of our wastewater plants are regulated. They regulate the discharge that gets involved for the state. And so that permit gets renewed every 5 years. And basically in this past 5-year review, we had 40 tests that showed our copper exceeding our permitted limitations. We had 3 results exceeding our total leak limit, and we also had 7 biomonitoring test failures. And so due to those conditions, in this new permit that was just issued, they added us to requirements for us to find the sources of copper and zinc that are passing through our plant and causing these exceedances. And also their requirements to do a whole effluent toxicity compliance plan. And that's basically the requirement for us to find the source of what caused these biomonitoring failures in the past. And so we were recommending Teresa Nichols to get involved with initial authorization of $39,900 to help us initiate this toxicity identification strategy, just so we can have a formal plan. We need to be submitting quarterly reports to the state, and get into compliance. We have 34 month period to get into compliance with final implementations, but as it is, we're already had some exceedances on interim limitations that came into effect this past September. So, you know, being that I don't think any of our plants have ever gotten one of these limits from them before, or one of these compliance requirements. So, it just makes sense to bring a consultant that can sort of help us streamline our coordination with TCEQ and initiate our study to get into compliance.
And that's not something we have to go outside for, that's something you can't handle? Since the microfiltration's winding down, the pipeline's winding down?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it is a methodical procedure that we have to get through EPA. I mean, to do this toxicity reduction, evaluation. I mean, really, just to give you an idea of the timeline or the full scope of what's involved here, if everything goes well, it'll take about 1 year to complete. If things, if we run into other situations, it could take as long as 3 years to get done.
Yeah, but 1 year to complete, what is it, 1 hour a day to work on it, I mean, for...
Yeah, we have to develop a sampling plan. I mean, I suppose I can take a stab at reviewing the EPA procedure and see if it's something that we can...
I always thought that's one reason why we hired our own engineer.
Right, and we talked about it, and Charles and I talked about it, and he kinda gave me I don't know if I can handle it, or...
Well, yeah, it'd be a first reading, but,
so...
I mean,
Sure.
I was just thinking of, having somebody with experience to come on board to assist with it. That was on the table right now.
I'd like to make a motion on the floor. I motion to table this until the next regular scheduled meeting, because I think we can do some in-house testing between now and then.
Yeah.
But it's the
Is that
reporting,
okay with you, buddy?
reporting problem is what you're saying,
I'm talking to
right?
that guy
Yeah,
over there.
well, what I'll do is I'll investigate the EPA procedures to see,
Okay.
how much of an established protocol is already in place, and we just have to set up a
If it's a
control
can, if
plan.
you got something in the can, we just add our name to it,
Yeah.
and maybe our great director of operations can assist you in that also.
Yeah, because we were already because with our initial scoping meeting with Corollo, since, that we're working with them on the water reclamation, they were basically just telling us we have to go find the source in our system, and we already suspect that it could be, Simcoe Marine as a problem spot.
You have a problem with me tabling this until the next meeting? Okay. There's a
Second,
motion
Whitey's
on the
motion.
floor.
Motion, to table by Whitey, seconded by Mr. Kappelman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Move to item number 7, consider and approve the financial report for December 31st, 2013. Robert?
So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, as of December 31st, we're at 25% completion of the fiscal year. What I did, I took the current budget and I divided it into 25%, which was a 3-month budget, and that's in the second column on the schedule. And then you have your year-to-date actual, the total encumbered, and year-to-date actual over under 3-month budget. The 3-month budget on revenue is $1,949,644. What has been collected to date as of December 31st was $1,455,779. It's showing that the revenue that collected is under the 3-month budget by $493,865. The budget for the expenditures is $1,949,644 for the 3 months. What has been, or what is shown as an expenditure is $1,615,857. The one thing that we need to remember is that on the administration, or it shows the $340,000, there is a transfer there to the debt service of $168,000, which is actually not an expenditure but a transfer. And so the actual expenditure for administration is $172,000. So therefore, when you look at the actual revenue of $1,455,779 and take it against the expenditure of $1,615,857, it shows that there is the expenditure over $160,078, but the true expenditure is showing actually that the revenue is over expenditures by $7,943. Okay, and so when you look at the year-to-date actual and over under the 3 months, that shows basically the same thing. So we're doing okay, although as far as the expenditures to revenues, although the revenues are down, if you look in the far right column, it's showing 18.67%.
Yep.
We're at 25%. This may be the norm for this time of the year, and I expect that it will come up somewhat once spring break comes around and summer comes around. But nonetheless, I still expect that we'll be under the total budget by year end. But then that remains to be seen, see what happens. On page 2, you have the list of the total revenues. that shows you where we have the revenues at this point. I had something that I was going to report on AT&T later. I guess maybe I could go ahead and bring it up at this point, and that's on the $10,000. We had received this. The process that happens normally when a check comes in, and the ladies in the front receive it, the cashiers, if they see that it's a regular check from a vendor that we normally get a check from, they'll process it. If they see a check that they're not familiar with, as far as the vendor or whatever, they'll bring it to me. Well, I, like most of you, were waiting for the check, but it actually cleared in December. And when we started looking into it at first, we couldn't locate it, because I was looking for it in one specific place where I knew that this money was going to go into. And what happened is one of the cashiers actually received the money and recorded it as tank rental fees. So, and we do receive
some from
money from AT&T for
Correct.
tank rental fees.
We got the money. Okay.
So if you look at almost towards the bottom, on the year-to-date actual and revenues, it shows the revenue tank rental fee
Tank rentals.
of $22,000.
Yes.
Actually, all we've received on tank rental fees is $12,000. Okay, so that's where the $10,000 went to. We already made a correction to put that into miscellaneous revenue. And the reason that it's going in as miscellaneous revenue is because the expenses that we recorded on this refund was for last year, and they've been recorded as expenses. So we can't go back into last year, so we need to record this current year miscellaneous revenue. Any questions so far? On page 3, you have the debt service fund. You'll see the revenue of $2,019,889 against expenditures of $351,910. So we have revenues of $1,667,979 over expenditures. One of the things that I did want to point out also here in the expenditures, if you notice there on the tax collection, it shows $75,102. Tax collection fee is about $9,000. The appraisal fee that we pay to the appraisal board is $14,563, and the other is discounts that we've paid out so far of $51,972. And then this question came up sometime last year as to how much discount we were given in collecting the money early. So if you look at the next page of revenues, it shows the
3%.
current property tax of $1,836,995. The discounts we've given is $51,971, so that's about 2.83%.
Quite a
Any
bit of money.
questions? I'm sorry?
That's quite a bit of money.
If they pay in, what is it, October?
We start collecting in October and November, and 3, 2, and 1, December, and then in January it levels off, and February starts with a penalty. On page 5, you have the capital projects fund, where we have revenue of $6,750. Expenditures to date is $1,836,250. So we have expenditures over revenue of $1,829,501. And of course, the next page shows you where the revenue
money
came
went.
from, which is interest. And then page 7 is the interest that we have received on the emergency fund of $649 with no expenditure. And that concludes my presentation on the revenue and expense report as of December 31st.
Any questions or comments on the financial report?
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Keplinger. Second by Mr. Vella. Are all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Moving to item number 8, consider and approve the investment report for quarter ending December 31st, 2013.
Yes, sir. You see on page 1 of 2, we have the deposits that are in the bank accounts. The beginning balance for September 30th of 2013 was $18,939,941.32. We have the net activity in the bank account of $140,695.45 negative, with interest collected of $6,290.48, leaving an ending balance in the cash accounts of $18,805,536.35. In the textbook accounts, we have a total deposit in the accounts of $61,092.24. Interest we collected on that is $6.49, leaving a balance of $61,098.73. On the next page, we have the money that we have invested in CDs. We had a balance of $5,273,348.14. Interest that we earned in CDs for those 5 CDs, 6 CDs that matured was $4,342.52, leaving a balance of $5,277,690.56. The total cash that the district had at the end of December 31st was $24,274,381.70. Total interest earned was $10,639.49, with the ending balance and the cash overall is $24,144,325.74. And that concludes the investment report. There is some pie charts for you to kind of get an idea how the money is split up.
Move to approve, sir.
Motion to approve made by Mr. Garcia. Second by Mr. Vella. Are all those in favor? They are. Not opposed, motion carries, thank you. Moving to item number 9, consider and approve the disbursements. So everyone had a chance to review the disbursements. Anyone in particular want to discuss the disbursement? Otherwise, motion to approve all the disbursements.
So moved.
I'd like to, spent $2,200 on small tools and hand tools and equipment. Now, I talked to Victor and I said, what you need to do is go out and buy every guy working for us a shovel and a ladder. And when they can't find one, tell them to go home and get it. I don't know. That was a joke. That's just a joke. But it just seems like we're buying an awful lot of small hand tools. They grow legs sometimes.
And they wear out too. When you use them, they wear out. If you keep them in the garage, they'll stay there for as long as they.
But
when you use them, they wear out.
yeah, we're trying to make sure that we justify every purchase on tools, and we've cut down on a bunch of them that they don't need, and some that they do. They bring, well, they kind of show Victor or the warehouseman that they're old. You know, they bring them in, and then we justify it. Go ahead and
Sometimes
purchase.
what we do is we buy these cheaper tools to save money, and that's what happens.
And you buy the good ones and they lose them.
Or they walk, but really need to be buying, premium. If you're gonna do it, when possible, buy the premium.
Yeah, they'll last longer.
They
and
last
We
longer
do,
and-
we try to get 3 quotes or maybe 4, but
Yeah.
we do buy what, the better tools,
Do we do
try-
like an annual audit of all of the inventory that everything, I guess, labeled and audited, and to know exactly what there is and what's on hand? I mean, for some of those, I know a screwdriver's a different story, but,
Right.
certain size tools and stuff to make sure that we accurately do have inventory and know what our stuff is, that it isn't walking away or disappearing or being left at job sites or that sort of stuff.
And I know we've done it before, give us a list of all the tools that they have in there. All we need to do is go back and find out if they're still
And
there.
do a quarterly audit or a quarterly review of that.
It was done before, Mr. Chairman.
Well, it was, I'm asking, and I don't,
Yeah,
I
we gotta
haven't
keep- we
seen the
gotta keep doing
update
it.
or the upkeep on it. No, we've done it
One
before.
month, they have $2,200 worth of tools,
Yeah, list,
locks,
and a
ladders.
check-in and a check-out.
Now we got 22 grand a year.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, you gotta keep in mind that
Yeah,
there's
all sorts
of
like
things.
8 departments, not just one.
I realize that, but
Yeah.
we've only got 85 employees.
Yes.
We make sure that we, get justification on all the purchases.
But with today's technology, it's simple to keep track of the inventory, when you buy something, because you order it, you just enter it in whatever department it went to into the computer system, and it should be there, and when you wanna do an inventory, you just go back, call up the inventory, and just find out if the tool's still there.
When we have employees out in the field and they need tools, I mean, are they on the trucks or how does that work, Victor?
Every unit has tools in it, so if you're out in the field and you need certain tools, yeah, you walk back to the truck.
Well, it seemed to me
Toolbox.
that what we y'all might look at doing is whoever's in charge of the truck is in charge of the tools. They need to sign for it every day and take an inventory themselves, and every day they ought to be doing that.
That's the way it's done.
And when it comes back, they take another inventory, making sure all the tools, you could have a little clipboard inside the tool boxes or whatever, and, make them responsible, a little more responsible. If it breaks, it breaks. That's not their fault.
I'm saying this because I was in that business all my life. And me, myself, personally, I don't know how many tools over the years I've lost and replaced. And I was working in a place one time, and 2 years later, I was looking for this great big pair of channel locks I had, rigids, right? Good ones. And 2 years later, I walked into this pump room at Inverness. And it's hot, and I'm working, and I finally leaned on the fire pump and went, man, this is killing me. I looked down, and my channel locks that I'd lost 2 years ago, I couldn't find, were laying alongside the fire pump. I walked off and stuff. Okay, it happens.
No, that happens a lot.
Especially if you're out in the field and you're in a ditch, and you got water coming in and stuff like that. All of a sudden, there's one pipe wrench that never got back in the truck. I'm sorry. And you don't want to have to go find it because it takes forever. But I just thought that the small hand tools and the step ladders and stuff, step ladders, you'll never lose step ladders. You wear them out. But just something I wanted to bring up. Sorry I got everybody going on this deal.
No, but I think the inventory and quarterly or review, something of that, we were into that, and it was addressed and brought to the board, and I think.
Well, a quick inventory on every truck at night wouldn't hurt without beating anybody up when we said, well, we got a 24 missing.
But sometimes
We'll
it
take
takes
care
the
of it.
department a long time to buy tools. Like, say, they don't
Well,
buy
if
tools.
they need 'em, tell 'em to
for
bring 'em
1 year,
back
2
the
years,
next
and
day
then when they
anyway.
buy them, they find out they need more than they thought, But like I say, if you practice on one and the lowest code, the bid, things like that, of course you're buying something for $5 instead of buying something for $9, and at the long run, you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna buy 2 of them, that's gonna cost you $10, not $9. So that's the way, I work here and I know what's going on. These guys they're not walking, they're not doing nothing, they wear out, and most of the time they don't say nothing because they borrow tools from another guy, and all of a sudden the other guy says, nah, you didn't clean my tools, so you're not gonna borrow it. And he finds out he's gonna need tools, he comes over to whoever gives him the requisition. But that's the
We'll
way.
take care of it through inventory. Make sure that we,
Motion. A motion to approve the disbursements by Mr. Garcia,
Second.
seconded by Mr., I don't know who.
Pick one.
Mr. Vella? Are all those in favor?
Aye.
Are any opposed? None, motion carries, thank you. Item 10, General Manager's Report, AWBD Conference.
Yes, I want to bring this to the board's attention that I did attend that conference in place of Mr. Garcia because he had some things to do, but I wanted to go because it's very interesting and you learn stuff that you would never think of. They did talk about municipal bonds and how they work, the procedures, which I knew some of them, but then they go to the extent of teaching you more stuff, how they work and how you sell them and who buys them and, and then there was one session. The other one, they talked about ethics. 101 is on the board's ethical ways to run the member, the district. And I learned some of the stuff there too, and I just wanted to bring it up that I recommend that all the board would attend these because they are very interesting. And then they also not only talk about board stuff, they talk about water treatment. They talked about the history of the reservoirs in Texas. They'll give you an outlines from the early 40s, 50s, and how many reservoirs they built, throughout the years. And then the last session, the seminar, was on, and you can pick out of the 3 sessions that there is at the same time, like on the one that we're going, it's tracks, they call them tracks. These are sessions. So there's like 3 sessions at the same time, and you can pick out of whichever is most interesting. And the last one that I went to was the benefits from water reuse, that all the entities are not, if it's a small one or large, it's all, it says like no community is too small to realize great benefits from water reuse. And they had a presentation there from, I just don't remember the name of the little town by Sugarland, like before you get to Houston. They had that presentation on their water reuse, and it's a benefit to the whole city. And it was very interesting because
There's Wharton.
Who's Warden?
I just can't remember the name of it.
Jail at
Wrote it
Wharton.
down,
I
but
don't
it's
like
there.
Wharton.
Sugarland, Richmond, there's Richmond before.
I wrote it down, but it's on my other sheet, my other
Rosenberg?
notes. I didn't bring that one, but it's real small. I think it's half the size of our district, like 3,500 customers, connections. But it was very interesting. I just wanna
Meadow Place.
Metal, yeah, that one, Metal Place, yeah, that one. Metal Place,
We care.
it's in there, yeah.
Never heard of it.
So, anyhow,
There is the annual conference coming up in June, which is in Fort Worth, which is twice as big and 3 times in depth. The AWBD is an Association of Water Board Directors, and it's all directors, all water board directors.
Well, we went to the one in Corpus last, it was in Corpus last summer, wasn't it?
Yes, that
Well,
one.
this time it's gonna be in Fort
In
Worth?
Fort Worth, and it's in the 1st of June, and if you want to go, let Daisy know, she can send the information out also. But it is very informative. I went with Carlos and I were there together, and it is a very good informative from a board of directors side to see and learn things. So.
Yep, and I do recommend that, so just wanted to advise you, and let Daisy know if you want to register to the next one.
Sounds like a conference meeting.
Right.
LND
That's it on my
might be-
part.
Anything else to report, Carlos?
No, that's it on my part. So make sure that the board calls Daisy for the next one.
Moving to 11, District Engineers Report. Carlos?
Yes, give an update on water piping, mass filtration improvement. Right now, DD7 is on the floor, getting ready to do the final coat on the surface next week. Ferguson has already released the commissioning checklist. The call scheduled to be down on February 3rd to finish up the checklist. Right now, the plant's still shut down. We've been installing the clear well baffles in the, in Clearwell, basically, we have one little concrete pour for one of the additional baffles, which protects the that we installed scheduled for tomorrow night, but that'll finish up the Clearwell baffles. While we were down, our operations staff also replaced our insertion and maturing meters with mag meters. So that should be scheduled to be completed about Monday or Tuesday next week. And so once that's done, we'll be back online with the baffles installed in Clearwell, new meters will have better accuracy on production, and then of course start commissioning the plant. So it's an 8-week schedule for commissioning. With that last week in March being the 5-day training session for operators to get used to start running the plant. Basically after that, it's another 30 days of a functional demonstration test, and 30-day acceptance test, and 30-day loss of trust test, which are all just part of the procedures of just getting all the tests completed so we can have the MF units on there. So, we're pretty close to being on schedule, and, the CT study, which is for disinfection, that's under review with TCEQ right now. We're going back and forth with some comments, and we should have that finalized and approved before February 3rd. So we'll have, basically, during the commissioning phase, we'll be operating both the media filters and giving water for the testing of the MF units. And so we'll kind of be running both in interim condition, and then at a certain point, in the commissioning phase, when the MF units pass all their testing, they'll get tied in, we'll just basically close the valve and turn the old filters off. So that'll be, at some point, through the next, 4 or 5 months or so.
What's gonna happen to the old filters?
The old filters, we're just gonna close the valve, and they're gonna be offline until we find another use for them. We're not gonna do any demolition, we're just gonna leave them turned off and valve closed.
Right, the plan would be just to clean them up and drain the water out, clean them up, and be ready for anything.
Yeah.
And that would be the plan, nothing else.
Right, it would be more, several years from now, if we ever need to add filtration capacity, we might want to look at a rehab and using both filters. But
How bad is the corrosion in there?
Well, I think it's more just the valves and all the leakage. I mean, the control panel, the MCC is gone, MCC2 history basically. It's all in manual mode, so all the other drains you probably have to look at.
Yeah, there's a lot of valves that when they built that kind of plant, it's just everything's underwater. You can't turn anything off or shut it down. They're corroded, so we need to, if we do work on them, we need to drain the water out and clean them up, take them apart. And one of the valves that you wanted to work on,
You got it?
it's there, but it's corroded. It's got a ring inside the valve, and all that's corroded. So I don't know if you can fix that.
Where's it, over here at the plant?
Over here at the warehouse.
Go look at it.
So
You got any hammer wrenches to break the bonnet off?
we have everything.
And we have to buy a tool, Whitey, please.
I think once
Ask them to buy any,
once
I
we
asked
get-
if they had any.
Once we get within a month of probably opening this plant up, I think we might need to get, I would like to have,
PR,
I would like to have a
press
PR
release.
thing, I'd like to have, invite
I
some of
totally
the-
agree.
I would like to invite some of the elected
A tour,
officials, Fort
a
Isabel,
real
South
tour.
Padre out.
Totally
We turn
agree.
it on, I wanna have something going on out there, not
Yes.
here, over there.
Yes, that's
Right
the
after,
plan.
right after all the testing.
Make sure everything is working first, then.
And I want to do a nice PR event. This is a big deal, there's a lot of money at stake, and it needs to be a nice PR event.
Right.
Yeah,
Drown
so once we
drown
get
the mayor of
paving
South
done,
Padre.
the landscaping finished up, it looks good.
When you feel comfortable with it, and do a nice tent,
Nice
and
tent,
maybe some of
exactly.
our outside dignitaries, and extend the invitation out anyways, and turn this into a nice PR.
Because, I mean, I've been telling people that you're gonna be able to drink it out of your tap now.
Yeah.
You're
You've
not
been
gonna have
telling
to
them
use-
that?
Huh? That's what I've been telling them.
I've just been telling them it's gonna be better.
Yeah. Well, there's also-
Better than what?
Huh?
No, you're not getting me into this trap.
I've been drinking tap water.
Well, you still can drink it anyway,
Oh,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah. But it'll be better, just like.
As long as you strain the zinc and the.
It's a good PR opportunity.
I think it's a big PR opportunity for us. We get all our local public officials over there and have a Nice little ceremony.
We'll get that going.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Scott will be the MC.
Have some bottled, so they can take some bottled water with them when they need microfiltration.
There you
So
go.
yeah, at that point,
Get some labels printed, with the Hydro Water District,
Yeah.
microfiltration.
Give everybody a
Take them off those
Bottle of water.
Good bottle, no?
See, that'll probably be like April-ish.
And give them a bottle of scotch too, that way they can kill the bugs in the water.
They have the cooler with
That'd be
the
good.
bottled water.
I don't know, we'll play it by ear, but that's.
I went in there,
that'd be nice.
I'm gonna get some of your orders about water.
This is part of the electrical work.
About water.
We have removed the splice, we just not.
Where did you get it
So that's
from?
history.
When are you gonna get on with your report? Because we're all gonna sit here and be silly.
Okay, going on to.
No wonder it's so
station 19,
good, I believe.
They are doing the trench, they're all doing the trench safety, it's all showing as we speak. The well will be on site Monday, and they'll probably start pouring the slab.
What spot this?
No, for lift station 19. in front of the
19, okay.
That basically is going pretty good. Really, the main task right now is to get off of that temporary construction easement by February 28th. Basically, the week of February 10th is when we'll be backfilling, after the wet well's already in place and get it all constructed.
What about that cumbersome metal work going over Saida entrance and exit?
Yeah, well, that basically, after we do the backfilling, that's when we can pull all the dewatering.
So that's
That's
February
from the-
28th?
That's from the well.
Well, yeah, it would be about,
Wow.
February 17th, we're pulling the shoring, and the dewater needs to be continuing as long as that shoring's in there, so we can basically get it out.
Those homeowners are starting to get a little worked up.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
'em.
we've had about 4 or 5 claims where they've blown tires, or one person actually.
I've drove in and out of there half a dozen times, that little bitty, I call it my mini-me, that Dodge Caravan. I've never bumped bottom,
Yeah, just important to drive.
blew their
slow.
tires out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things, where I'm
Pardon my
just coordinating with a liability insurance certificate holder and let them file claims and.
I think it was a high-end car or something too, wasn't it? I heard about it. I think it was a...
Yeah, one was a silver van, the other one, like Marquis or something, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's 2 others I need to look at.
But it's working its way out, and
Yeah.
once they know they get something, then the problems are gonna only get worse, and then we're gonna be back on Channel 5. And
Right, that's why I'm just letting the insurance company do their job and. let them-
Maybe this time will be
Yeah,
Channel
when you're
4.
on Channel 5, you can be the spokesman, Scott. We'll just sit in the back and make fun of you.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just, yeah, I mean, just basically at a worst case, I mean, if, February 17th that week is probably the point when, this dewatering those driveways in front of the site will be removed.
Okay.
And then at that point, we still have yard piping within the site going on in March, but at least we'll be off the, we'll have all the excavation getting out of there, and it won't really take up so much space. So that's basically what we're at.
Excuse me.
Let's see what's next. Cautious pump station pipeline, the pipeline's about 83% complete. They're a couple hundred feet away from San Roman Road, and then after that, they'll just jump over to 3069 and get all the way to the pump station from there on FM 2480. The pump station, they're almost finished backfilling those cans, and then next week they're going to be scheduling the tie-ins to the existing pipelines, and also start cleaning out all that silt that's collected in that ground storage tank out there. So that's basically on the schedule for next week, or whenever we can get the next shutdown for our raw water system. But that's basically where they're at. I mean, with all the weather delays, we're looking at taking the delivery of the second pump, or around May, and that's about the same time in June is when we'll be pulling the pump that's in the existing can out of the old pump station to the new pump station. That's pretty much the point where the new pump station will be around June of this year. But that's basically where it's at. And as far as water rights, I just want to give you an update for what our final tally ended up being at the end of the year. We did get the December report, and so at the end of the year, we used 5,073 acre feet. So we had a year-end balance remaining of 477 acre feet. And so we did pretty good. I mean, considering I think the conservation was pretty effective. We had also ordered 230 acre feet from Fish and Wildlife, which was different count. So I mean, at the end of the day, you know, without that Fish and Wildlife access account. being
But that's
available-
still, you're saying about 94% capacity.
Right. Basically, at the end of the day, you know, if you want to take the Fish and Wildlife account that we use into account, we have 470 acre feet. If you don't want to take it, we only have 240 acre feet remaining at the end.
So that's like 99%
Yeah.
capacity. Well, then we have to really start up our water conservation program. I mean, water conservation is an annual, but when we were just in Dallas at the AWBD, I mean, they're already gearing up towards, the other communities are gearing up towards drought right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it published in the paper and stuff, I mean, gearing up towards drought and conservation and,
Yeah, we should keep our current.
no one thinks of drought in January. I mean, the common folks don't think of drought in January, but, you know, it's year round. Of course, you know, it is what it is, but.
Definitely, now, we should definitely keep our same conservation policies in place. The reservoirs at this time last year weren't much different than where they are today.
If we're running that close, should we review them? Now's the time to do a workshop and review them and implement them.
Yeah, since the combined balance right now is about 42% between South and Amistad, I mean, that's consistent with our current stage of where we're at on the water conservation plan. So it's, you know, landscape watering twice a week and, you know, unnecessary items, just try not to use that water efficiently.
And again, conservation is, we promote it all the time, like, keep on doing it, you know, forever. It's not just during the drought management times, but conservation means that, you know, install the right toilets and, you know, promoting all that kind of new equipment that is fairly new now, like the toilets, sinks, you know, faucets, spigots, and how to promote the watering on the lawns and all that. It should be consistently all the time.
That's something you can put every month, put something in the bill, put something in the bills every month about, you know, 1 month on a toilet, 1 month on watering the lawn, how to water the lawns the best.
But if we're that close to our water rights, we really need to get a workshop and get a little more, my personal opinion, get a little more focused and educating the public and.
And guys, that's, you know, we're on a voluntary basis, and, I mean, where I live, nobody's following that. I mean, where I live, my neighbor's gotta have the greenest grass in the neighborhood, and he's not following that. He waters every day.
This is pretty serious. I mean, you're saying that.
Enforcement.
There's no enforcement on it, so I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, because we do let our customers know when they see somebody, they let us know, and we go out and advise our customers, you know, like, we're recommending that you comply, you know. So if you can give us an address, we'll take care of it. No, okay, see. But we do get calls, and then we ask them to give us an address, and we'll go out there and, you know, knock on the door and just advise them.
You guys got personnel you can send around, and on this day and on that day, whoever's, you know, if they're not supposed to be watering, you know, go out there. But these people are watering after dark, and they're watering before the sun rises, so, I mean, it's up to you guys.
Just have
And then we did have close to 7% rate of, from summer to December, conservation, you know, it does work. 7% less.
Over the last few months, the rain has cut down consumption quite a bit. I don't know if it's the conservation, I think it's more like the rain we've been getting, yeah.
Well, the conservation's been through all, from summer to December, and it's 7% all along.
Well, just to compare, in 2012, we used 5,558 acre feet, and this year we used, you know, 5,073. So, I mean, you know, we can work more with Fish and Wildlife to kind of help us out, and, you know, just kind of be tighter with our own internal water.
And then Fish and Wildlife gives permission.
250 acre feet is only like a last minute ration.
Yeah.
No, they have 1,000 acre feet that,
Yeah.
you know, that we can.
There's 1,000 acre feet that is for wetland flooding, but, you know, we work with it.
Okay.
Yes, Charles.
No, that was the end of it. That concludes the engineer's report. If there's any other questions.
Thank you, Charles. Item 12, we've already discussed. Do we want to revisit? Okay.
Check was definitely in the mail, and it was deposited.
Lost $10,000.
Motion to adjourn at 6:58 p.m.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Keplinger, second by Mr. Vella. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for your time and dedication to Laguna Madre Water District.
Thank you all.